Hello everyone, today we are going to solve simplex method. So objective function we have maximization equals to 40x1 plus 30x2 subject to constraints are x1 plus x2 should be less than or equals to 12, 2x1 plus x2 should be less than or equals to 16 and x1 x2 should be greater than or equals to 0. Let's solve the problem. Let's introduce slack variable. S1 and S2 as we have two constraints, so we will introduce two slack variable S1 and S2 and convert the problem into the standard form. Z equals to 40x1 plus 30x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. This is equation number A, and the subject to constraint x1 plus x2 plus s1 equals to 12, equation number 1, and 2x1 plus x2 plus s2 equals to 16, equation number 2. So now let's start the first iteration. Iteration number 1. So let's rewrite the objective function 40x1 plus 30x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2, equation number 1, and the constraints x1 x2 plus s1 equals to 12, equation number 1, and 2x1 plus x2 plus s2 equals to 16, equation number 2. So let's form the table. Cj xb, so x1 x2 s1 s2, here it will come xb, it will be basic variable, and here minimum ratio. Now value of x1 in the objective function as equation number A, x1 40, value of x2 that is 30 in equation number A, value of s1 is 0, value of s2 is 0. As we have introduced the slack variable s1 s2, so it will come s1 s2 as a basic variable initially. The value of s1 and s2 is 0 in the objective function, so we will write as it is in the table. The value of x1 in the first equation, that is constraint, we have to write in the first row, that is 1, value of x2 1, value of s1 is 1, and value of s2 is 0 in the equation number 1, and here it will come 12. And the value of x1 in the equation number 2, that is 2, value of x2 1, there is a no s1, so it will be 0, and value of s2 it will 1, and 16 will be there. Now we have to calculate zj minus cj. So for first column we have to calculate zj minus cj. We will give 1 as it's the first column. How to calculate? 0 into 1 plus 0 into 2 minus Cj, that is this 40. So it is 0 minus 40, so it will be minus 40. Now we have to calculate for second column. Cj minus Cj, Zj, 0 into 1 plus 0 into 1 minus Cj, that is a value of x2, that is 30. Now it will 30, so it will come 30. Like that we have to calculate for third column. 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0 into minus Cj, that is 0, so it will be altogether 0. For last Zj minus Cj, 4 column, 0 into 0 plus 0 into 1 minus 0, so it will be again 0. Now we have to choose less than 0 and the minimum value, so that is minus 40, as we can see in the table. So that will be the entering column. So we have to calculate the value of minimum ratio, that is 12 divided by this value will be 12, and 16 divided by 2, that is 8. So now 8 is the minimum value, that will be the leaving row. This is the leaving row, and this will be the key element, that is the intersection between two leaving and entering column and row. So we have found key elements is 2. Now we will move forward towards iteration 2. We will write Cj basic variable, it will remain x1, x2, s1, s2. Value will remain as it is 40, 30, 0, 0, xb, and here it will come minimum ratio. So now S2 will be the leaving one and x1 will be the entering one. So x1 will replace s2 and s1 will remain as it is. So value of s1 is 0 and the value of x1 is 14. It will come at CB. So now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the value of entering. Value of entering, value of leaving row. That was our leaving row. So how to calculate? Simply we have to calculate the value, old value divided by key element. So value of x1 in the old table, that is 2, and the key element is also 2, so it will be 1. x2 1 divided by 2, that is 1 by 2, and s1 0 divided by 2, that is 0, and S2 1 divided by 2, that is old value divided by key element. That is the formula for value of leaving row. Old value divided by key elements, old value divided by key elements, old value divided by key elements. Now we have to calculate xb2, old value 16, key element 2, that is 8. Now we have to calculate value of stable row. Value of stable row. What is the formula to calculate? Old value corresponding key column into corresponding key row upon key element. What is the old value? This is 1. For here old value of x1 is 1. Corresponding key column, that is 1 only, upon corresponding key row, that is 2, upon key elements. So it will come as a 1. 2 into 0, x1 1 come as a 0. Like that we have to calculate value of x2 in the first, that is stable row. Old value 1, corresponding key column, that is 1, into corresponding key row, that is 1, upon key element. So it will come 1 by 2. Like that we have to calculate the value of S1. 1 old value minus corresponding key column 1 into 0 upon key element. So it will come 1. And for S2 it will come minus 1 by 2. Now let's calculate the value of XB1. Old value 12, corresponding key column is, that is old, corresponding key column 1 into corresponding key row, this is corresponding key row, that value is 16, upon key element value of key element is 2. So it will come 4. Minimum ratio. Now we have to calculate Zj minus Cj in the same manner. 0 into 0 plus 40 into 1 in the same manner, minus 40, that is 0. Here 0 into 1 by 2 plus 40 into 1 by 2, minus 30. So it will come minus 10. Here 0 into 1 plus 40 into 0. It will come 0, and 0 into minus 1 by 2 plus 40 into 1 by 2. It will be 20. 20 minus 0. It will be 20. So as we can see, minus 10 is a minimum Zj minus Cj. So it will be the entering column. X2 will be the entering column. And now we have to calculate the ratio, minimum ratio. So 4 divided by 1 by 2, that is 8, and 8 divided by 1 by 2, that is 16. So 8 is the minimum value, so it will be leaving row. Now moving towards the iteration 3. CB, CJ, basic variable x1 x2 s1 s2 xp, and here it will be the minimum ratio cj. As we have seen in the iteration number 2, x2 will be entering and s1 will be leaving, so x2 will replace s1, next one will be as it is. So now we have to calculate, it will be the remain as it is 40 30 0 0, x2 will be 30 and x1 will be the 40. Now we have to calculate the value of leaving row. How to calculate value of this row? That is, first we have to get value of x1 in that row. How to calculate? Old value divided by key element. What is the key element? Key element is 1 by 2. Key element is 1 by 2. Old value is 0 and key element is 1 by 2, so it will be the 0. Now value of x2 in the first row, that is leaving row, old value is 1 by 2, the key element is 1 by 2, the value will be 1. s1 old value is 1, key element is 1 by 2, so it will be 2. And s2 old value is minus 1 by 2 and key element is 1 by 2, so it will be minus 1. Okay, now we have to calculate value of stable row. How to calculate? Old value minus corresponding key column into corresponding key row upon key element. What is the old value? Here we can see 1, corresponding key column in the iteration 2, 1 by 2 into corresponding key row, that is 0 upon key element 1 by 2, so it will come 1. Value of x2 in the second row, old value minus same corresponding key column into corresponding key row upon key element. This formula is for stable row, and this formula old value upon key element for leaving row. Old value, now it is, we can see the old value 1 by 2 and the corresponding column is that only, and corresponding key row 1 by 2 and the corresponding key elements 1 by 2, so it will come 0. Like that we have to calculate for s1 and s2. So after calculate we will get minus 1, here 1, and now we will calculate the value of xb for the leaving row. So we have to do old value divided by key element, so it will be 2. And now we have to calculate for stable, that is old value, that is 8, minus corresponding key column, that is 1 by 2, into corresponding row, that is 4, upon key element, so it will come 4. We will write here 4. Now we have to calculate Zj minus Cj. 30 into 0 plus 40 into 1, that is 40. 40 minus Cj, that is 0. Like that we have to calculate for all the columns. 30 into 1 plus 40 into 0, 30 minus Cj, Cj is 30. So 30 minus 30 is 0. Now for the next 30 into 2, 60 plus 40, that is 20. 20 minus 0, that is Cj. It will 20. For last 30 into minus 1, minus 30 plus 40, that is a 10 minus Cj, matlab 0, and then it will 10. Now all the Zj minus Cj is greater than 0. So this is the optimum solution, we got it. Now moving forward, this is the optimal solution, we got it. So value of x1 is 4, value of x2 is 2, and objective function z equals to 40x1 plus 30x2. We will put the value in the equation 1. 40 into 4 plus 30 into 2, 160 plus 220. So value of objective function will be 220, and the x1 is 4 and x2 is 2. That is the final solution. Thank you.